Yo, what up, guys? It's the Fake Truth Show. It's the Fake Truth Show. This show's gonna be a super cool show, and I read somewhere you're supposed to like catch people's attention at the beginning of the video. I mean, why not? Why not? Why don't you just join me after a quick intro, though? Check. What is happening? It's that time of day. That just happens. It happens, and so what can I say? I'm not going to say it's happening regularly because that would be some fake truth right there. Or maybe I can just. I mean, it's on some of these signs still. It's like every night at midnight, but I do what I can here, and to bring you just some quality nonsense, right? My journeys here, people wandering around, and other just, news briefing, news related stuff, things that are in the news, or also just things that were in my personal news that connect to things that I think you might be interested in, because I don't know, I've been reading a bunch of nonsense, soaking up all sorts of experiences in this life, and I don't know, I think sometimes things that maybe I find interesting, you would too. So if I start to ramble a little bit, just bear with me, because there's probably something interesting at some point, so somewhere in this video. That much I can almost guarantee. Right, the Christmas time is over. It's time to get back to your work, your life, or whatever. Just this was my friendly reminder that all of that is part of the hive mind hexagon hex spell that we're under, right? The whole experience. And I mean, they're always just putting it out there. There was just putting it out there constantly, this hexagon. So just their reminder to you that you're in this hex. And that counts for everything else that's going on, right? We're in the new year now, so apparently it's gonna be just pure insanity, pure madness, something bizarre or just off the charts is gonna happen. Apparently, we're not gonna see it coming. It's just gonna be like blowing your mind completely. But I was starting to think today about how the calendar has been changed over time, and then also our history has been changed over time, and that maybe, I don't know, there used to be a bunch extra months in a year or less, and that we're all here, set and celebrating our new year, but that, right, it's really hard to tell where the deception, the fakery starts and begins. So maybe all of this energy that we all just expended putting into the to the holidays, whatever, however you treat them, and then ringing in this new year, that maybe all of that energy is also somehow misplaced or misguided. But at the same time, it's good to take a break, whatever you're doing, and I hope you were able to also just take some time off and I don't know, hang out with somebody that you think is cool. Now I have here just tons of images of television. I'm getting back into this and looking at this. Right, I'm constantly just sort of screenshotting and taking clips of stuff, and a lot of it just goes undiscussed and unlooked at. Right, we could go on for a while about her upward facing triangle necklace. This woman in this TV show wearing the shade of green. And that might have been why I took the screenshot, probably for symbolism reasons, but that's sort of the trouble with all this entertainment. It is so what's the word? Like ephemeral. It just passes by it is racing by at this point, and something even like this show, Witcher, which is on Netflix, which is only just like a week or two old. I don't know about you, but I just burned through it in a day or two, and then it's gone. It's just sort of receding very quickly into the past. And so, right as I take these pictures, I sort of forget what was I trying to talk about here. That's why I gotta get in on these. I gotta get in on these super quick. But maybe we can circle back to those a little bit later. Might as well get into the news briefing. There's different random music all the time because I am playing it live, so that's what's up. What am I trying to get here? Oh, look what's happening here. What's happening, Travelers Guild? I say hello to you in person and also in text form. What up? Because, you know, a big part of this show, for me, it was always the hope to have interaction with the public. See what you guys want to talk about, maybe. Take some questions, take some topics. You know, just like get into it. And at least according to I mean, I know there's a lot of fakery going on in this whole area, but at least according to this, we got 7 people watching here. So, you know, if you're just watching, just chilling, I would encourage you to just say what's up in the chat and just have like an interaction, because I don't know, I think that's kind of important. And it looks like we just lost somebody. You know, because maybe the show is stalling out, but I think it's important. And I think, yeah, that's the kind of people I would want to attract, people that want to talk to each other. So enough of that. Let's get to the news. So I'm not going to say I'm an expert. I'm going to say that I basically work all day and do other stuff. And then I'm like, you know, that whole human interaction thing. So, and also just to help me tear apart this stuff that I'm constantly, you know, I think we're constantly bathing in this information, but we're not encouraged to process it in any way. We're encouraged to hold it in our minds very briefly and then forget it immediately, which is, you know, just doesn't seem right somehow. I mean, that's at least not how I was sort of taught to process information when I was a kid. You know, it was a lot more like, you know, read this, think about that, take this into consideration. I guess there was just more time to do that. It's obviously the technique these days to just flood you, just like with the TV shows, the constant new information, constant new show, constant and really just on overdrive these days, right? Where at least when I was growing up, it was just all about prime time. You got maybe 2-3 hours of decent television per channel, which ended up being really not that many good shows a day. But now, right, we're talking a big new multi-level season dropping every day or two. And I may be talking about entertainment, but it really is the same in the news area. It's really maybe worse or better, whichever your context is there. But the news is just flying by at just an insane pace, and obviously 2020 is no different. It's gonna be accelerating, it seems. Right, and I don't really know what to make of this. This guy who I guess I had heard about before, but I wasn't aware how important he was. Right, apparently a key kind of guy. And I saw this going down. Right, there was some protests happening. And then I heard some other stuff about how it was much more about the killing this guy that was the more important thing that was happening, and everything else was just sort of smokescreen. Right, as with all this, with any of these stories, so when I open the news feed and it's top to bottom, right, my entire phone full of the same story, then it always makes me scratch my head, especially when right they're minutes or hours apart from each other, and often using a lot of the same keywords, a lot of the same just rhetoric in general, from many different news sources. So, I mean, what is the deal there? Maybe it all just lined up, and that's how it works out there, the spheres. But I think a lot of information gets sort of pre-planned and sent out on time, right? Because and that's the thing about these projects. The thing about a lot of this stuff is, right, something like Witcher, that TV show, it took them years to make, and then it's all gone in a day. And that's in the fantasy realm, right? So something like this going down, which is obviously like a major shift, right? It's time to get out of Dodge, get out of the good old fun place where we make money. It's time to leave because killing this guy is problematic for relaxed situations, apparently. That ratcheting up, that's heading us in a direction that we've been wanting to head in, right? Obviously, for it's hard to say how long exactly, but very long, at least 30 years. We've been trying to get into. Let me just highlight it. These guys. We've been trying to get them. We've been really trying to get these guys. Oh man, I don't. I'm not gonna pay for the highlighting. Are you serious? Screw you guys. Right? But obviously, been trying to get these guys for a while. So, on the first or second day of the year, this all goes down. Really sets the tone. Really definitely sets that tone. And what I wanted to, again, obviously super planned here. I wanted to talk about the other show that just came out on Netflix. Messiah. That's not how you spell that. How do you spell it? Man. Just showing all my cards here. Could not spell that word. Definitely couldn't spell it. But that's just the state of affairs. So Messiah is also just came out on the first or second of the year, just all perfectly in sync with everything that's going on here, and we should probably get into that later. To not get very good reviews, I guess it's a little plotty, um, a little slow paced, but it's still not terrible. Right, but about a lot of the same stuff. It's said in the same area, discussing the same subjects, right? So, would obviously be beneficial if you could coordinate these two. I'm not saying that these two things are coordinated exactly, because both efforts would take a long time in preparation, right? Even if they were purposefully actually executed. If this was at all actually this guy hunting this guy down, et cetera, et cetera. Something like that, I assume would take years, and something like creating this, I definitely know would take a super long time. And again, it's all just burned in a day, and some people watch it, some people don't. Most people never go back. I mean, depends on the kind of person you are. You may go back and watch old shows, but it's not a guarantee. The idea is the buzz in the moment, and I think a lot of this stuff is lined up exactly with the spheres and all of that, whether it be our real calendar or some other sort of deeper calendar that we're not privy to. I just feel that things seem to be lined up, and that's just something I thought was curious, that all of this going down along with that show coming out, right? Self-defense. This is all just like red line topics these days. Like in 2020, this is just, it feels like I'm not supposed to be doing this, right? Like somebody's gonna catch me showing you guys some news from this evil organization here talking about this country, right? And they really have done a good job with the whole suppressing speech and all that, because people are really running. They're running scared. I remember, just looking through Twitter before the new year, and all these accounts saying they're going to quit, they're going to leave Twitter, they're going to get off because all of these terms of services are changing, right? And I don't really know what to make of all of that. Maybe it is all just sort of psyoped in order to generate that chill, or maybe they really are going to start coming to your house and giving you a court order, right? Maybe if I said certain things about this tweet in a certain way, that I would really honestly be in hot water. I mean, I'm not sure. The truth actually doesn't really matter that much. The effect is all that really counts, and this really has sort of gotten to people, right? People don't want to talk about this stuff the same way that they would even a year ago, and as with everything, I just see that all that's all gonna accelerate, right? And we've been it's just weird to me. We've been trying to fight these guys for so long. If we actually wanted to fight them, right? Like actually, it seems like maybe we would have done it, but maybe I just don't know that much about military and all of that. It definitely seems though like it's been going on for since World War II, and doesn't really seem to have any signs of shifting. But maybe that's what they're trying to tell us, that this year is going to be different. I sort of hope so. And that's again a lot what's going on in this show. I guess I'm just giving this away because it is related. This guy comes in and talks about changing things, right? There's this quote from him, the end of history, that we've reached the end of history, and that things will be different now, right? There won't be any more fighting in wars, and everybody will sort of get along. it just works. So yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. I don't want to get too deep into that show just yet until I watch some more of it. Right. I was seeing a lot of these kind of articles too, like here come the 2020s, right? Here's our crystal ball. You know, imagine what's coming in the next decade. And again, as with all these things, mostly coordinated using a lot of the same exact talking points from in different publications. So that, I mean, that must be just kind of lame to, as a journalist. Like, you want to, it seems like you would want to have your own ideas and talk about them, and maybe write a piece about something, and not just constantly be playing some, like, it's like homework almost, like fill in the blanks, right? Here's your prompt, right? Give us a couple hundred words on that. But also, we're going to give you these links. It's just even that many words, right? It's just weird. It sort of seems like a waste of time almost to have 5, 6 major publications be rehashing these words. You know, it's essentially plagiarism in a sense. Essentially, in a sense. Well, I guess not quite, but still, it almost seems like they might as well just give us from one or two sources, but that would ruin the whole illusion. So I guess they got to keep this up at least for a little while. Got to hear this from who is this actually? Digital Trends. And they say it is a real dude, Ed Oswald. If you're out there, give a shout. I'd love to hear from you what it's like working for Digital Trends. That I'd be curious, super curious, what it was like writing this article. But that's a big one, obviously, that we're headed to space, that we're going to get all of our space in our space, and just put all of those people up there on that rock, right? Wouldn't it make sense to get like a telescope up there? Maybe it's spinning too much. Seems like you would want a telescope on the moon to like look at other stuff. That seems like these dudes should bring a telescope. Maybe like could be useful up there, outside of the atmosphere and all that, right? So I don't know. We'll see if that actually happens. We'll get to the moon. This thing is finally working out. Richard Branson's thing. Mostly a lot of this space stuff, and obviously 5G. That's key. And a lot of talk about automation. Automation is coming for real. I mean, that's definitely going to be coming in, if not this year, then very soon, for at least the wealthy elite. Some sort of much more advanced digital assistants in our lives, where things will be able to actually intelligently talk to each other, and everything from sort of digital voice assistants to properly doing things like cooking and cleaning and everything else that you could possibly imagine. Everything will start to get measured out to the milliliter, and will be rationed and planned and machine learned and all of that. It's a super necessary step on the path to basically monetizing everything everybody does, because we spend way too much time in the shadows, especially, right? It's 2020, and I'm still able to get on here. I'm on here on YouTube with an account that's not using my name, here showing you copyrighted material, and finding different ways to get around that, right? Just breathing air up in here, drinking all this cheap water, and not throwing my trash away correctly. All sorts of bad stuff that I do when people aren't watching. I'm sure I'm pretty mild by some people's standards. So, but expect all of that to get sort of locked down on pretty soon. And this automation, especially the computer side of that, is a key to making that all actually happen. And this climate thing is really just gonna pop off. It's gonna be bananas at a certain point. We're gonna have no room, no more wiggle room. It's gonna be done. And that's right. So you would see how these things go hand in hand, getting rid of carbon. And because in order to actually get rid of carbon, you're going to have to track carbon. And that means no more special U time where you are using carbon without people knowing about it. Because, well, you got to do it for the team. Guys, what's your problem? Like, don't be a jerk. So, and I guess a bunch of other sort of wild claims. Yeah, I guess they're going to fix some diseases, maybe some diseases that they created themselves in the first place, which would definitely make it seem easier to cure in the end if you knew how. Right, if you made it in the first place, I can see something getting away from you, especially in this micro sort of biological field. But also at the same time, it seems like right, you keep the antidote around if you're gonna make a poison. That's usually pretty important for the poison maker to just keep track of all that. So right, and I don't want to let digital trends take up the rest of the time, but I don't know. I think most of the people hanging out here with me are on the same page and see a lot of these things on their ways. There's nothing new, right? None of these agendas are going to be halted with what's going on with secrecy and war and all of that kind of stuff. That's not going to slow any of that progress down. If not, it's going to be a necessary step on the way. So, right. Hopefully we can still figure that out for ourselves. The end of the gas car, right? Interesting to see all these traffic gas guzzling. Don't see a hybrid in the in the traffic here at all. Not even one. Right? They got it bad there in Australia. It's been burning for months now. They're just getting wrecked, and I guess it's mostly brush, and so it's not destroying a lot of structures, but at the same time giving everybody these apocalyptic feelings. And right, enough channels have been reporting on this as well, just showing how a lot of this language is coordinated using this language like apocalypse, and showing those horrifying images of the red. Right, it's blocking out the sun, and again, just all of it seeming very weird, not like a regular anything that any of us have really experienced before. Having these crazy tornadoes getting created by the fire or thunderstorms or whatever, like that's just not something I remember happening. But I guess I'm not a meteorologist, so you can say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. There was always thunderstorms popping out of brush fires. There's all those thunderstorms and brush fires go hand in hand. That is just like a natural thing. Haven't really seen one without the other before, but that doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like what I remember from my childhood. Personally, I don't know. Leave a comment. Just I'm curious what you guys have. You ever seen something like that, like fire with the you got the fire and you got the lightning, and they're like making each other stronger. So I always try to get my grain of salt out with Zero Hedge. They can be a little inflammatory, but also stumble upon some interesting information at the same time that you generally won't see at other places. So right, apparently they're hiring UN dudes in New York, And they're looking for English-speaking disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration officers, right? That sounds like, yeah, like there's gotta be like some conflict or something, right? Disarmament, who's gonna be armed, right? Anywhere in America? Well, I guess in the Americas, it's not gonna be Canada or those other places. It seems like that would be America, right? Demobilization is also interesting. It's not just taking away the arms, but getting rid of people's cars, bikes, motorcycles, I guess any sort of way of mobilizing yourself. They're going to take away your scooter. They're going to get rid of those damn Lyft, Bird, whatever you call them in your city, those stupid scooters. Maybe that's what this is all about. They're going to get those goddamn scooters out of the cities. Reintegration is also interesting too. All these words seem to be very, very, very powerful. Sort of pregnant when meeting, right? In their own sense. I just wanted to pull this up. Is this the actual thing, right? Just to entertain the thought. This is a job opening. And that's, I mean, it definitely says that. Just disarmament, demobilization, reintegration. This is a archived page, so, right, I guess, yeah. It's on the UN, so I guess we could try applying. Yeah, damn it, I don't have a login. Guess I could make up a login and try to get in and see what it has to say, but right, it gets into some scary stuff in here. Right, participate in all this, right, to go to meetings. I mean, it's like not too bad of a job. I don't know who's going to be qualified for all this.
Negotiations, participate in technical assessment missions,
Oh man. Yeah, I got it just in time. I switched the screen. I switched that screen. Yeah, dude. That's what's up. That's what's happening today in my brain, just in general. So, take it or leave it. Let me know what you think, and I think I got it pretty well set up for myself now, where I can just hop on here without too much rigmarole before and after, and right, I think if I can manage to get on here regularly, that we can see ourselves grow here and have a strange little weird family going on where we're just hanging out. Maybe talking about some fringe topics, but also just hanging out. Now, this is amazing. I don't think I've ever gotten a message on Twitch before. What's your name, dude? Aknati 105 is saying it's getting late. I agree. This show is basically over at that point. When the title card hits, nothing else is really gonna happen. Like I have to reach over there and hit that stop streaming button, basically. Because there's still video, right? And it's not gonna turn itself off. I have to actually stop pressing buttons and reach over there. But it's been cool hanging out with you guys, even though I can't see or actually hear your voices. I appreciate everybody that watches. That you would take the time, and hopefully you appreciate that I took a little time to give you something in the evening. So you're gonna see the title card again, and then it's actually over. It's actually over. Now it's actually over. I'm done.